Hi guys, welcome back. So I was actually visiting my parents' house a few weeks ago and it's clearing out. I still had little bits that I needed to take back with me and I came across another sketchbook. So it turns out I hadn't finished all my sketchbooks. So this is actually one from my year 10 at GCSE when I did fine art, when I did just GCSE art. And I think it actually was the first one I ever did in terms of exam. So first page is identity. On the front of this sketchbook does have a lot of pictures, but I don't know if those people want to have their faces on YouTube, so we're just gonna use our imagination. Just a lot of pictures from my youth. Just got, it's a very similar pattern. I remember being very proud of this because it was just so different. I had to draw myself. I remember GCSE being very much like, for everything that you did, you had to explain it. In this picture, I've created my own self-portrait by using a mirror and wax. I did this because I wanted to do a self-portrait in a material that I haven't used yet. In this case, it was pastel. However, if I would change one thing about this artwork, it would be of how long I spent on it, because this only took me about 30 minutes. But I know the piece would have came out better if I had worked more time on it. I'm not going to read the whole lot. I don't get how this is wax. Maybe it was for like trying to put texture in or something. Then we have, oh, someone's face. I believe this was from a magazine. I'm guessing so because of the little magazine cutouts. I also remember GCSE being very much of like filling a sketchbook and then going back to edit it, because you can see the background, it was just painted green, and then I must have just stuck on bits to make it a bit more collagey, a bit more fun. And I felt like it was very much, this is what happened, this is what the image I was taken from, and this is the copy. Then we've got our good old Roy Lichtenstein inspiration that everyone does in GCSE art. I actually did see one in, I think I was visiting Cologne, and I was like, ooh, it's nice to see one because it's so like art poppy, and it is very GCSE because it's the artist that everyone gets into, because it's quite creative and it's fun and it's colourful and it's not so serious, and it's a very good way to enter yourself into the art world with Roy Lichtenstein. It's very comic-y. So I think that's how you kind of get trapped into the world of art at the very start. And I've got my eyeball and I was just trying to draw it and paint it, which is semi-successful. I really like the eyeball. I think whenever I have done drawing eyes, it was always the eyeball that I wanted to do first and then the rest of it came later, but actually you need to do it the opposite way. I did it on paper and cardboard. I quite like that effect actually. I don't know why I've given myself blonde eyebrows, because I've always had brown. So on the page the steps we're gonna go. Okay, so I've covered up the picture that actually is of someone. So this is when I went through a phase of printing off images and then painting on top of them. So these are actually some of the pictures of people. You can't actually tell who they are because they're not very good paintings, so it's fine. But I do like the fact that it's grayscale, a lovely feel to it. Once again, colour is very much in my art practice, but it's not primary, it's not the primary focus, it's more of the, oh, it just happened to be in this colour situation. Moving on to the next one. So this is of me, so it's fine. I mean, you can see me there in my youth. There's something really ghostly about painting on top of someone. This is also my friend Daisy. I'm sure she won't mind being seen, but you can't really see that it's her. Comic-y about drawing on top or painting on top of an image that you've printed out. It's sort of similar, but there's this weird feeling about it, which I don't think I quite understood when I was doing it. I think I just did it because I thought it was easier to paint on top of rather than to paint a fresh image of. And then we were doing some, ooh, that was quite cool. This is the final piece apparently. So in this one it says, in this drawing I copied the drawing of one of Roy Lichtenstein's but changed the thickness of the black lines to make it my own copy. I used pen to create this picture. I also did the drawing in black and white to change in colour since all my other paintings are in colour. If I wanted to change one thing about this painting, it would be the pink background because it doesn't contrast as well as the black and white picture. But however, the painting itself turned out how I wanted it to be. So that is quite a good copy. Very good at copying artwork, can't I? We have, ooh, pop art. Oh, this is spray paint. I remember I went through a phase of having spray paint, which I absolutely loved. I loved the idea of being able to spray things on top, a bit like collage, and it was just, because all you needed to do was a piece of paper, and you stenciled out an image, you put the image on something, and you just sprayed on top of it, and it was just a fascinating way for you to, not replicate art, but to get an image maybe you've taken of or drawing, and then you scanned it in and you can like process it a bit like screen printing of a uncontrolled way, because with spray paint things can happen. You could overprint, you could, well actually it's the same kind of process as screen printing actually, but it depends on what kind of texture you want, because this isn't like a professional texture, it's more of a imprint rather than a transfer, if that makes any sense to anyone. Little alcove or something. Some artist research. Body. Wait, was this spray paint or was this just like... No, I don't want to say potato printing, but does anyone else get the gist of what I'm trying to say? Like stencils, maybe? I know I got into spray painting around this time because I went to Upfest in Bristol and I was like, Mum, Dad, can we go? And they were both like, they're not really into art, and they went, alright, okay, we'll go see it. And then they thoroughly enjoyed it because it was something completely different, and even though they're both from Bristol, they never really experienced it. It's kind of like where you live, you don't go to all the attractions because that's where you live, and why would you go and do it? But actually physically going and see them, it just baffles your mind, I find. There's quite a few little bits around where I live that I've never been to, but loads of tourists go to, and you're just kind of surprised when you do go to it. Oh, there we go. Lovely grey toned again. I love the texture of my hair. I had one of those swooping fringes. I love the fact that it's been distorted. And I really love the grayscale. I don't know why. I find it very, like, neutral. Is that the right word? Like, you know when you can see an artwork and it seems really positive or negative, but this seems to be in the middle. It doesn't seem to be saying much in terms of attitude. It's just there and you're meant to make a decision from it. I'm really glad I found this sketchbook already. I feel like the grayscale and the marks are just what's making it. It reminds me very much of actually a portrait I did of myself recently. It's actually my profile picture on YouTube and on Instagram of a still life of me like falling asleep. It's called I'm Tired, and it's just made of graphite. I've used graphite for myself, and then in the background I've got yellow because my studio is very yellow and it's kind of fitting, and I thought it was just kind of ironic because it was a very bright, friendly, sunny colour and I'm asleep because I'm an adult and I'm knackered because we're having to work these long days to get anywhere in life. And then I've got some more like cartoony images, like anime basically. It's got some more written work, but I do like the composition of this. I think we have to do something to do with identity and how it relates to us. So this is a shooting grade, should we say? Because I used to do a lot of target rifle shooting when I was younger, and I believe this is one of the scoreboards that I got. And I've also got music, and then here I've said this third image is about Japanese and Chinese symbols since I enjoy exciting culture and artwork. Also their language is quite interesting. Also, the language is quite interesting because it's the characters and that you see them around the world. I think that's what I was trying to say. And I've got, I think I was trying to make like a composite, like a collage-y thing. Oh no, I remember. So wax, if you put it over a surface and you try like paint over it with like watercolour or say something, it won't do it. It just resists, so it does this little weird effect. Like when you put water on like a car, it just doesn't react with it. So that's cool. Ah, here's me. Oh wow. Me and my big hair and my extensions. I remember actually having these massive purple extensions that you couldn't really tell what they were unless it was in colour form, so that's why I've done it in black and white. Still got the big hair, still got the face. God, I do miss my fringe. But I think if I had it now, it'd be a bit weird. And more self-portraiture, because I think a lot of people did self-portraiture. I think there wasn't much that interested me other than people. And I remember my teacher telling me if you wanted to do portraiture of yourself, you had to make sure that you included other people's images, as in like from the artist's research to doing other people's portraits. Yeah. Simple line drawing with blue ink. Then this was definitely spray paint. I remember it because it stank out my sketchbook and I had to like run outside and leave outside because it just stank out, and I for some reason did it in the middle of the room. In my bedroom as well, so I don't know why it came out quite faded. Maybe I sprayed the lighter shades on, I'm not sure. Oh, here we go. That's cool. So maybe the outcome was going to be an example of this, but I know that straight after this project we had another project. I think we worked on two of them at the same time actually, which was a bit weird. You would think they would separate the two different sketchbooks, that like one give you 6 months and the other one gave you 6 months, so you're like constantly doing it. Because I remember art, you only had about 2 or 3 lessons a week, and that wasn't enough since each session was about 50 minutes long. You'd have like one double and then one single, and you just think that's just not enough time unless you did loads of artwork outside of school, which I think I did anyway because I enjoyed it so much. It's a shame I don't think I've still got a final piece for this, but I feel like it would have been wonderful if I created this self-portrait in a sort of style, like a spray paint style, because I feel like that's what I was ending towards. But it's nice to know that I did a project to do a self-portrait. Yeah, it kind of pops up a couple of times within my other sketchbooks, but I never really had the chance to properly do one. Just happy. Oh, cool. I can't believe it. I'm still really happy that I managed to find this sketchbook. So I think I'll leave it at that. What do you guys think? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching if you made it this far. It's a lot of talking, I know, with sketchbooks, but they're so interesting to look through, and I feel like because you keep hold of them, if you're ever stuck, you just kind of flip through them and just see what kind of you're going through. Like right now, I don't actually have a sketchbook because the whole process of a sketchbook back then is to prove to someone and to be graded on it, but it doesn't mean you can still do it now. But I feel like it's not a waste of space, but I use my sketchbooks more of being online, as in like Instagram and YouTube, because it's a visual thing. But I do like the idea of creating another sketchbook just for fun things. I do actually have a couple of sketchbooks, but they're more like the sketchbooks you do when you're walking out and about and you just want to draw. So yeah, I hope you guys found this interesting, and I hope you found it insightful. Take what you want from it. Let me know what you thought again in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. if this is the sort of content that you like. There's also in my description box links to all my social medias and also my eBay selling account, which is where you'll find all my artworks that I feature on my channel, as well as a couple of extras. There's also a PayPal's donation page if you'd like to pick a donation. If you can't do any of that, please just like and subscribe, because it really does help me out in the long run, sorry. But yeah, thank you guys again, and I shall see you later.